My guest today is Howard Jones, the leading influence and founder, some say, of synth pop, who wrote amazing songs like New Song, What Is Love, Pearl in the Shell, and Like to Get to Know You Well. You were born in Southampton to Welsh parents, but you had a formal music education, did you not? You went to the Royal Northern College of Music.
Yeah, I started playing piano when I was 7. Well, my parents insisted that I learn the piano, and I hated it, as you do, you know, at first, until I worked out that you could actually pick out tunes by ear, and then I got obsessed with it.
How old were you at this point?
I was 9 when I started picking out tunes, and then became obsessed, and then, you know, ended up thinking that going to music college would help me with my love of pop music and rock music, which it did actually. You know, gave me the sort of, you know, the chops to sort of do whatever I wanted. I
think it shows up in your writing. I think it shows up in a lot of people's writing when they've had a formal education, because although they're still commercial, you've got a real musicality and knowledge of chords behind it.
Yeah, that's right. I've always loved that. What I love about pop songs is that it's a simple format, but you can always tweak it in some way. You can always sort of bend the rules slightly to make it interesting, you know, to kind of get people's attention. And I've always loved it. It's just a classic form, but you can always add something new, a new twist to it.
When did you start to write music? How did your career start in commercial music, in pop music?
It actually became sort of viable as a sort of something that people wanted to buy when I was 28.
Because that's a sort of late starter, isn't it, for the music industry?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I've been in bands since I was 14, and doing, like, you know, really complicated sort of classical rock pieces, and also I had a friend who was a poet who used to give me, like, shed loads of lyrics that I would set, you know, as it was good training there, you know, reams and reams of lyrics to set. But then I kind of realised that actually, you know, the pop song format is such a beautiful thing to work with, and I kind of condensed it all down. And then when I got signed when I was 28, and the first single went to number 3. But it had been a long process to get to there.
My goodness. Well, you are described as the founder of synth pop. And it's a terrific sound. I love your arrangements, and I love the sounds you made.
Well, yeah, thank you. I mean, obviously, there's lots of people riding that wave of all the new technology that, you know, that came out. My particular take on it is I wanted to do like a one-man band with using the drum machines and the sequencers, and to be manipulating it all live. You can really imagine, but you just can't live it. You're the fastest runner, but you're not allowed to win. So break the rules and learn to count the cost now. The insecurity is the thing that won't get lost. And you want to, and you want to. We want everyone, and you want to, and you want to.
Well, your first your debut song, New Song.
Yeah.
And then you had 4 more hits with Human Lib. What do you remember of that time?
Well, it was incredibly exciting, because I don't think I thought I could ever get that far. You know, I mean, I dreamt of being on top of the pops, like I suppose many people do. But whether I could actually do it, because you know, it was just, it was, I didn't know. But
Well, how did you actually get there from
Yeah, to
the
get
dream to the reality?
well, it was 3 years of doing three or four shows a night. I was working in a factory at the time, so I was doing, you know, I did 200, like something like 200 shows a year. In places where they didn't normally have gigs, we'd phone up pub landlords and say, "Can we play?" You know, because there's not enough gigs to do, so you have to make gigs happen. And gradually, a following developed, and of great people. We used to take them around in coaches up to London to the Marquee, and I think the most we had was 6 coaches of people, and they used to love it. You know, it's a very sort of DIY thing. So it was.
That took a lot of initiative. Not many people would do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Excuse me.
it's just we're really determined to involve the fans, the supporters in every work.
First gig as a now a hit act?
I remember playing at the Lyceum, and I was just about to sign a record deal to Stiff Records, which Paul Conroy was at, and he decided to leave and go to Warner Brothers. So at the moment I was going to sign, I'd been waiting all my life. I couldn't do it. He said, "I want to take you with me to Warner Brothers." It was amazing good fortune. So signed with a much bigger company and got the weight of that. And, you know, we went on to play, you know, Wembley and Madison Square Garden and...
You say it so matter-of-factly, you know, that's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose...
How many people were you playing to in Madison Square?
That was 18,000, I think. Yeah, we did,
a lot of people.
Yeah.
A bit more than a pickle factory.
Yes.
Or a factory.
That's
we'll
right, that's right,
factory.
Yeah. More than the Nag's Head, High Wycombe.
What was the significance of filming in a pickle factory? Was that because of your early factory days?
You're right, yeah.
Was it a pickle factory you actually filmed?
It wasn't, it was a cling film factory, so it was a little bit of... I think we could only find a pickle factory. But it was the principle, I suppose. You know, I was working in a factory. I believed that I should be doing my music. I really firmly believed that. So I worked to do that, and eventually I said to the guys, you know, I'm going to walk out of here one day and I'm going to do my music. I promise you I'm going to do it. And I did.
So how long were you in the factory again?
I was there, I think I was there 2.5 years, actually.
Long time,
yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Every day wanting another dream.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, doing demos late at night, doing all the gigs. And but, you know, eventually I did go. So I wanted to put that into the lyrics, you know. If I can do it, I'm in this position. So can anybody, if they, you know, it's not necessarily music, yet whatever talent you have, you know, find what that is, so you can make your contribution.
So you say if you have a dream, follow it,
yes.
Even if you're starting out from a pickle factory.
So believe that.
I agree with you. And a lot of your songs have a very strong philosophical message to them. I love the lyric where you say, in New Song, don't be fooled by what you see both sides, throw off your mental chain. So you're really driving people and motivating them.
Yeah, I mean,
songs.
I was always very. I wanted to have I did want to have a positive message in the songs, because I thought you know, that's what I'm like. You know, I want to be encouraging. I didn't really like sort of the long raincoat type, you know, depressing lyrics and sort of wallowing in grief type. I think there's a place for that. I really do, but it's just not me. I want to be, you know, sort of
so you're an
like
optimist.
Be a kind of cheerleader.
Yes.
So because often with me, music was always the thing that inspired me to keep going when things were tough. You know, you'd hear a piece of music on the radio and you go, oh, I feel better now. I feel like I can carry on.
start with that time, and how do you think music's moved on since then? Because has there been a revival in pop, techno pop again? Has there not?
Well, I think a lot of artists have realised, have got over the sort of the idea of the 80s being, you know, not a great decade for music, which I've never thought, obviously.
No, I think there were some
it was never
good songwriting.
I think what happened was that the 80s it wasn't rock and roll to me.
It was glam. Well, it wasn't glam rock, but it was very romantic.
It was, you know, fashion was a big part of it. All different diversity of styles. If you think of, you know, Culture Club and then Human League and, you know, what I was doing, and U2, you know, UB40. I mean, there was a real sort of interesting mix of music going on, and then fashion was a big part of it, but it wasn't rock and roll. And I think a lot of the industry didn't like that. You know, it was like, you know, they lost control. So that's why I think the 80s got a bad rap at the time, but now people like, you know, Lady Gaga being very highly influenced by the...
Very retro,
era, you know.
and they appreciate it better.
Yes,
that often happens, doesn't it? You look back and you realise how good it was.
If you know, criticise a whole decade of music, aren't you criticising like a whole decade of people?
Absolutely. Howard Jones, thank you so much for coming in. It's been lovely to speak to you.
It's lovely to talk to you, Lynsey. Thank you.